Welcome to another Founder Wisdom podcast. We have Stephan Stegeman with us, or Stegman. He's a
Almost.
co-founder. Yeah, almost. How do you pronounce that, Stephan?
If I would be saying it in the Netherlands in Dutch, it would be Stefan Stegeman.
Wow, I would have never got that. So yeah, Stefan is here today with us. Today he's a co-founder and CEO at Shop Like You Give a Damn. They're Europe's largest 100% vegan marketplace that verifies and aggregates fair, sustainable brands in fashion, cosmetics, and homeware. So we're gonna talk about that. It's not his first business. It was also co-founder at Vivolution, Leaped, and other companies before. So, Steph, welcome to the pod. Tell me a bit more about
Thanks.
yourself and what you're up to as of late.
Okay, Stefan Stegeman in Dutch, or in generally people call me Stephen or Stefan. I've been in working in digital basically for 21 years now. Was more of a nerd in the early days. Was a coder, web design, project management surrounding web, and then started creating educational courses on digital marketing. Did that for a long time. Started a business educating people, being Leaped. Also co-founded Fevolution, Indeed, which is a marketplace that connects investors with vegan or ag tech, cell tech startups, which was really fun. And am now focusing on Shop Like You Give a Damn. Have been for the last 5-6 years, I'd say, full time, which is really nice. It's a marketplace for vegan fashion, indeed. And at this particular point in time, I am really, really putting all my time and energy into understanding what AI will mean for us as a marketplace, and generally where it's going, and how we can ensure as a marketplace that we keep on being number one in the markets where we are, and become number one in markets where we are not number one with the help of AI. It's an exciting time because AI is giving you a lot of tools to save money, but it's also changing the landscape. And we are, as a marketplace, we have small margins, so we always relied a lot on organic search, on search engine optimization, and that is basically going away. So we need to diversify and make sure that we can continue to live without leaning too much on search engine optimization. So that's kind of like a very, very nutshell. Yeah.
So, is AI vegan?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I mean, is it sustainable? That's a different question. That I can, probably not. But vegan, maybe, if you want to like really extrapolate the whole, you need energy for it, and for the energy, you are maybe doing things that is killing animals intentionally, and being okay with that, maybe. But I would say yes, generally.
Yeah, and is it sustainable?
I don't know. I'm not an expert on the topic, but what I have heard is that it costs a lot of energy, like a lot of energy, and but maybe we will save a lot of time doing projects that might compensate for it. But at this particular point in time, I think it's costing a lot of energy, which wouldn't be
Yeah,
too sustainable.
it's like a bottle of water per prompt or something like that, which is pretty intense. But
It
that
is
is
intense,
only
yeah.
with the data centers that are not sustainable. So it's not necessarily AI's fault or OpenAI's fault. I meant I
Hmm.
do think they should be more selective with their suppliers and go for true sustainability, because yeah, if you flow that much water and that water is used, right? Maybe they have a system to clean it as well. I think that's what they're announcing with the Stargate project, right? Like I think was yeah, what 300 million, 500 million invested or something like that. So that's going to come up. And to your earlier point about AI being based on search engines, right? Is that really true? Because I think yeah, it's a part of it, but OpenAI, for example, they're not affiliated with Google. They scraped Wikipedia, they scraped Reddit, right? And they
They
scraped a
do
bunch
Bing
of
mostly,
journals.
mostly
Yeah.
Bing.
So, what was your earlier point that you were mentioning to me before this call? And yeah, why do you think you're like more bullish on YouTube? You told me and stuff like that.
Well, if you have these AI models, they have to be trained, right? And you need a lot of data for it. And the internet before AI was, at the peak where it's now, is it mostly consists of data that has been created by search engine optimization specialists, right? Content creators who wrote blogs mostly to generate traffic, to hope to convert that traffic into business. Um, those AI models have been using all that data, and they are still using that data. If they want to give you an answer, they will scrape the website, look for blogs, and give you an answer. Sometimes in an AI overview on Google, it will use a YouTube video, for instance. And in the future, I am imagining it will use TikTok videos, or at least excerpts from those TikTok videos and Instagram videos. And it will be a much more of a multimedia experience, and really tailoring more towards the current target audience. Because if you look at Gen Z, from the top of my head, 40% of the people, when they are searching for something, let's say, a top 10 things to do in Lisbon, I don't know, in Portugal, they will search first on TikTok and Instagram before they use Google. So it's 40% social and it's 30% Google. And at this point in time, I think it's only 3.5% ChatGPT, but that's going to shift, right? But because they are looking for video content, because video content is much more enticing, it's much more actually useful if you're looking to see what you want to do in a specific city. I am imagining that this content will be a big part of what AI will give you, like LLMs give you in as an answer to a certain question. So you will ask a question via voice, or maybe you type something and it will give you an answer. Hey, look at this cool TikToker. She was like 3 days ago, she was in Lisbon and she did these 5 things and 1 million people liked it. So maybe this is something you would like. So that's what I'm seeing now as where it's going, and why I would be indeed bullish on video more than I would have been like a week ago, because I'm really going deep on it these last few days. And it is something that's, for me at least, really interesting, because it is so important to us as a business.
I think the AI can pretty much shape everything, right? Like just a matter of it understanding these words, translating into
Exactly.
into like physical text, and then like building data off that. So I think it's like more matter of like company. I think Google has a gigantic advantage, right? Like with YouTube, with Google search and terabyte, and I'm not, I would call them zettabytes at this point of data from Gmail, from Google
Yeah.
Docs, from Google Sheets, right? They have that huge moat, but they're not using it. And we've also seen models like DeepSeek perform on very few amounts of data, and I think in between stands OpenAI. They do things very well. I do think they're winning that race, mostly because it's founder led, right? Sam Altman is still here. When he's not, it's going to be a totally different story. Just like when Travis left Uber, for example. So I think it's more like the platform, the company that owns the data, right? And for example, in my case right now, I'm using ChatGPT for everything. It's literally
Yeah.
becoming my OS. It's
Yeah.
literally replacing my Chromes slowly but surely. So, and I
Yeah.
think that's the vision of Sam Altman right now. I'm feeding all my data. I'm feeding my clients' data in there, and it's just helping me so much. So I just think it's a different type of habit, and arguably, I do think that OpenAI cracked the UX. So there's a reason why I'm using them all the times. That it's pretty fun and it's easy to use them. It's easier than Google, right?
No, for
And
sure.
even
Yeah.
becoming easier than Google Docs, even becoming easier than email, because soon we're gonna have these AI agents. Hey, send an email to that person.
Yeah.
It's gonna triage my email. So Sam Altman's vision is really like a full OS. Then after that, it's like, oh, is he gonna get into hardware? Like Alexa, it sucks.
I
The Apple
know.
speaker, it sucks.
I've
Siri
been
sucks.
complaining about this. Why is it not here yet? It's taking
Yeah.
forever.
Well, it's because OpenAI failed to create partnerships with Apple and Google, and these are legacy companies, so they're very egotistic and
Yeah.
stubborn. We could have got OpenAI on Alexa 4 years ago, right? And it would have been a major step up, and Alexa could have made probably 10x what it would make today. but they're just
Yeah.
stubborn. Jeff Bezos is out there on his yacht, not doing anything. Larry and Sergey are pretending to go back to work, but I think it's too late for them to like become the first racers in that race. So yeah, my question for you, I know you're a software guy, but do you think the next step to OpenAI would actually to have their own computer that would like be AI first rather than a computer that would be or like programming first?
It makes a lot of sense, and it really reminds me of the movie Her, the 2015 movie Her. It's such a beautiful movie, and everybody should watch it if you haven't. Shame on you. But that is, of course, literally an AI being an OS, like an AI first OS, right? And that's definitely what I'm envisioning, because same for me. Like 90% of my Google behavior has migrated towards OpenAI, ChatGPT. In our company, we do some things with Claude because it's a little bit better at writing at this point in time. So we're using different models, but yeah, for sure, like AI first OSs are going to be a thing, and they're going to be here fast. They're going to be a part of everyone's lives, and it's going to be very normal to have a relationship with an AI for sure as well. I mean, a lot of people have it already, of course, but it's going to become more and more and more normal.
Don't you think it's a trap? Like these humans that have a relationship with AI or that watch AI porn, do you think they'll ever get out of that hole? Or is it a hole? Let's start with that.
That would be the book/movie Ready Player One, where if everyone gets addicted and never, doesn't live real life. I think those movies are mostly the Ready Player One book, by the way. It's really good, but really showcases that particular problem. Yeah, for me personally, for a few, yes, of course, there's always going to be people who are, who get addicted. They said the same about the newspaper, that everyone would only be reading newspapers. Then they said the same about radio. They said the same about TV. They said the same about game consoles. It's always the same thing, and it's always a problem. But then, I think generally most people still have a very strong urge to feel human, to be human, forge real human connections, and they generally only flee and escape into these different worlds, into these like artificial created ways of being entertained or feeling not alone, when they don't have the real alternative. So yes, it's going to be a lot of people escaping in that, and I think as a lot of people going to just like use it to enhance their lives, and there's going to be a lot of people in between.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And for your company, like, what's your short-term plan to use it? How are you already using it? Like, can we use AI to filter if a product is vegan or not, if it's sustainable or not? Like, can we do you have an algorithm to actually do that?
I was actually just working on it, enhancing it. So a few things, few steps. So it's just to explain what we do and why, how AI play or could play a role in it. We are a Mino, a marketplace in name only, because we actually determine and we select which brands are able to sell on our platform. It's not an open marketplace, so it's not like, hey, I just like create an account and start selling. Reason we are closed in that sense is because we need to make sure that the products are being sold on our platform are actually compliant with our house rules. And those house rules are, they have to be vegan, fair, sustainable, social, and inclusive. Those are a lot of things to consider. We have like 31 criteria that are made up or are like under the umbrella of the 5 values I just mentioned. And most brands don't actually comply with those things. Most brands are really exploitative. The fashion industry is a really shit industry. 1 out of 6 people works in the fashion industry in the world, ish, somewhere around that point. And when you look at the garment workers, only 2% gets a living wage. That's not a lot, 2% of people working in an industry. And it's a lot of people. So, it's a shit industry. And and most brands don't even know how bad it is. So most brands are like, oh, I'll just make a nice sweater or a nice shirt, and then they kind of like, even if they don't know they are doing it, they're exploiting people. So we are really strict. We have a lot of knowledge on topic, And we have a team that actually looks at, the claims brands make and verify those claims and dive deep into the data, ask really tough questions, and make sure that these brands, are okay, that they are actually working towards a less shitty world in the fashion industry, particularly. One of those things is, no animal items, materials whatsoever used, no people exploited, and, as less damaging to nature as you could be as a brand, because you're basically always taking from the earth. So that's like the baseline. So what now happens? So if we have verified a brand and we have it on board, we have to add the products. But not all brands we are 100% okay with us. They maybe only have one collection that's okay for us or whatever. So we add all those products by hand. We scan them, we tag them with metadata, and we make sure that our search engine can process all the information. And that has, since the beginning, has been a manual thing. We have been adding it by hand. We have now a team in the Philippines that helps us with it. But still, like, one product can take up to like 5 minutes of adding, and we add like 1,000 products a month. So that's, it's quite a costly thing, and that's where AI comes into handy a lot. We have been implementing, in this particular case, Claude, that we tell what a product has to meet which criteria, and it scans everything. It checks all the colors, it checks the materials, it checks the certifications, it rewrites the title, it rewrites the meta description, it does everything, and then our team only has to check if it's okay or not. That's going to save us like 70% of the time. That's a big thing. And we can utilize that same logic in different departments. Also, for instance, for verifying if the brands themselves are indeed, up to good and not up to no good, and check if they actually meet our criteria. So that's also something we can use AI for. And that's what we're working on now at this particular, literally just like half an hour before I jumped on the call with you.
And how do you get your clients? Like, what's your main go-to-market motion?
So as a marketplace that focuses on vegan, fair, and sustainable fashion, it's, our target audience is people who give a damn. That's why we're called Shop Like You Give a Damn. And the brands generally find us now. We've been around for a year, like 7 years. So most brands knock on our door, and we accept 1 in 10. The other 9, we say, sorry, but you're not a fit yet. So we're quite strict. And marketing wise, like go to market, it's been mostly search engine optimization. That has been a big thing. Partnerships with different affiliate platforms through Awin or otherwise. That has been a big part of it. Of course, email marketing is a thing for existing customers. And funnily enough, we have almost done nothing with organic social, paid ads, or video.
And is fashion sustainable by itself? Because fashion's like about making a statement, right? Like about like being perceived. But if we fix that need to always being perceived, like aren't we fixing the problem itself? Because a piece of clothes, I can wear it for like 15, 20 years, right? So isn't the act of shopping like not sustainable is my point?
100% true. Yeah. On our homepage, we literally say, don't shop unless you actually need something. And we want to be the place where people shop instead of somewhere else if they actually need something. So we don't want to so that's why we're not as aggressive in our marketing as well, because we don't want to push people to buy more. But to go a little bit deeper on this particular topic, it was like a few hundred years ago in France, there was this minister of finance who invented seasons in fashion because he needed people to buy more because the economy was in the gutter. So he literally created the concept of fashion and seasonality in fashion because he needed people to switch their clothing more and more and more. So yeah, it has always been a capitalist way of earning more money for the country so they could earn more taxes. That's what, how kind of like fashion started, which is kind of sad if you think of it. And now, of course, people use it as an expression thing, but what we say generally, or the advice we give generally in the more slow fashion realm, where people don't buy as much and don't buy as much on trend, we say just create your own style, buy really quality pieces that will stay with you for a long time, and build around that. Because you are you. There's a lot, everyone else is already taken. So create your own style and build on that, and don't try to copy everyone because you saw a TikTok movie like yesterday. Because Shein will literally, with AI, generate that trend somebody has and it sees on TikTok. It will generate a little mini pilot where it will generate this and create this clothing and put it on the website in 3 days from a little TikTok movie they saw, and see if it works. And if it works, they scale up production. They are that fast. In 3 days, they go from nothing to like something in the shop. So, that is the exact opposite of what we should be doing.
Right. And how do you balance price with sustainability? Because most of the time, these products are at least like 25, 35% more pricier than like non-sustainable ones. How do you balance that out and make sure that the customer can pay a decent price while staying eco-conscious?
It's a layered question, and it depends. So at this particular point in time, the really cheap clothing, you pay for it in a different way. So you don't pay money, but the environment is paying, people are paying, being exploited both, and animals are paying generally, which is not good. So if you want to have a fair price, like a true price, things would be more expensive, but not necessarily as more expensive as you would think. Like if you want like if you want to pay somebody fair for their work, and a t-shirt is like 15 euros, dollars, whatever, which is already cheap. It would cost 25 cents extra to pay that person fair, which we do not do. We, these mostly bigger brands, they tend to want to give that money to their, shareholders, which is kind of shitty because other people can't eat, can't send their kids to school, and are living literally on like 4 square meters with 13 people. And other people are, squeezing them because they don't want to be, pay 25 cents extra per item. So that's a thing. So it doesn't have to be much more expensive, but it is so cheap mostly because they are exploiting people, planet, and animals. And it doesn't have to be much more expensive if we want to be more ethical. And the one other reason why they can be, bigger brands are cheaper is because they have the scale, and most sustainable brands have not yet met that scale. So that's also one of the reasons why bigger brands have cheaper clothing, because scale makes stuff cheaper.
Right. Interesting. Well, thanks for coming on today, Stephan. Where can people find out more about you?
Definitely go to shoplikegiveadam.com or shoplikegiveadam on Instagram. That's where we're actively most, and you'll find us, and you can find me on LinkedIn.
That was Stephan and Charles for another Found